Before this video begins, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload.
I would like to thank Keybar for sending me some of their products to give away to one of you guys. Keybar makes key organizers that save space and are made in the USA. They sent me the original Keybar, which holds up to 12 keys and is made of titanium. They also sent me a mag nut that clasps keys or tools together with a strong magnet. To enter the giveaway, leave a comment down below on this video, naming your favorite car of all time, and I will announce the winner in my next video. Alrighty, let's get into the drive.
Hello and welcome. Today we are driving a 2023 Lincoln Navigator Reserve 4x4. This is finished in pristine white metallic with a black leather interior. I would like to thank Flood Ford Lincoln in Narragansett, Rhode Island for allowing me to both review and test drive this Navigator. I just filmed a complete in-depth review with this Lincoln Navigator, so make sure to go check that out on the channel, but I'll give you a quick spec run through and then we will get this out on the road. So this is a large 3-row SUV, with this one having second row captain's chairs and seating for 7. This has a curb weight of around 5,685 pounds. This is powered by a similar engine to the F-150 Raptor from Ford, a 3.5-liter twin-turbo EcoBoost V6, making 440 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. This is mated with a 10-speed shiftable automatic transmission and reaches 0 to 60 in just under 6 seconds. This 4x4 model gets 16 mpg city, 22 highway, and 18 mpg combined out of a 23.6 gallon fuel tank. This comes with a monochromatic package, which includes 22-inch alloy wheels finished in gloss black. You get 285 wide tires all around. This Lincoln can tow 8,300 pounds, and comes with the safety features of blind spot monitoring, forward collision alert with automatic braking, rear cross traffic alert, and lane keep assist. This competes with the Cadillac Escalade and the Jeep Grand Wagoneer, and this one came out in 2018, but this is the mid-cycle refresh. This measures in at 210 inches long, 79.9 inches wide without the mirrors, 76.4 inches tall, and has 9.7 inches of ground clearance. This rides on independent front and rear adaptive damper suspension, and has a 3.73 rear axle ratio. No air ride is offered on the Lincoln Navigator. This is a mid-trim with the black label above it, but the Escalade and Jeep Grand Wagoneer do have air ride options. Also in the rear, you get an LSD or limited slip differential. And something odd about this, one of my gripes, is it does not have exhaust tips. It has almost a hidden exhaust, even though it's a okay sounding V6. They completely chose to not include tips, which this is Lincoln's most expensive model. I think they should have. I think it adds good presence, you know, with a little bit of a grand set of the exhaust tips, whatever it may be. You can, you know, make it cutouts, make it just tips, whatever you want. But yeah, they didn't do any of it, so I don't love that. But something really cool about this I want to name is you can get 5 different massage settings with 3 different strengths in the rear seats. That's a class exclusive, so that's pretty cool. Alrighty, that'll do it for the spec run through, so let's get this out on the road. And also, if you notice where I am, this is my truck. As you may have seen, I purchased this 2004 Ford F-150 back in February, but I am now selling it because I got another Ford F-150, and it has the 8-foot bed, whereas this one has some more problems than was anticipated as it aged. So yeah, I'm getting rid of this one, so you may have seen that video already. If not, that video will be coming out soon on the channel with my newer to me Ford F-150. Alrighty, and once this gigantic truck moves, we will get this out on the road. So, on the interior here, I'll give you a little run through. It does have Ford's new Sync 4 system, has an 13.2 inch infotainment screen right here, and a lot of head-up display, a nice digital gauge cluster, and a great set of fit and finish, and a pretty okay choice of variety and materials. So yeah, we will get this out on the road. And firstly, just some of the drive mode options. Yep, we are low on fuel, I don't care. So normal mode, which we will drive mostly in. Then we have conserve mode with their great graphics, I love these. Excite mode, which is what we'll do our 0 to 60 in just a moment. And yep, it's switching between 4-wheel drive. Yep, 4-wheel auto, slippery, and deep conditions. So we will drive in normal for a little bit, and we will do a 0 to 60 here with this really powerful engine. That's a lot of power. So we will see how it puts the power down. It claims their 0 to 60 time sits somewhere around 5.86 seconds. So 5.8 or 6 seconds. So, but some numbers also say closer to 5. So yeah, we will test it out, just see how it feels. And yeah, I'm surprised they didn't put exhaust tips. As for visibility in here, it's pretty good. You got dual panoramic sunroof, so you get some nice light in. That's open right now. You got some grab handles down low, which is understandable due to the 9.7 inches of ground clearance, but it just makes it a little bit tough to get that all set up, because then it's protruding a little bit. However, if they put it higher, you can reach it, so I understand it. Yeah, this engine sounds decent. It's so frustrating they didn't put any exhaust tips on here. I really wish they had, but we'll see. As for your steering wheel here, you do have paddles on the back. They're kind of the cheaper paddles, the typical ones of Lincoln. I wish they did maybe an upgrade for this Navigator, but they're okay. It is a heated steering wheel. You get front and you get you get driver and passenger heated and ventilated seats, and they are massage seats with 5 different levels and 3 different strengths within those levels. So that's pretty cool. And then over... Okay, well, that was pre-collision alert. That was a little bit sensitive. So, yeah, I'm just crawling in traffic here. This definitely has forward collision alert. I did not stomp the brakes there. It stopped a little prematurely, in my opinion. So that was interesting. That was a little annoying, but at least it works well. So, as you learned in the safety features, that is what is present here. So, yeah. This engine runs moderately quiet. This whole interior so far, even with these 22-inch monochromatic package wheels, this is riding exceptionally quietly. I'm going, how fast? 45 miles an hour on 22s. There's almost zero wind noise. Road noise is also very muted, so that is very impressive. And additionally, so far, it does, in normal mode, it does go into, you know, nothing too crazy with the power output right here. So nothing insane, but it rides very well. The 10-speed, you do feel it shifting. It's not like you don't feel it shifting, but it does very well in its shift patterns, shift timing, all that type of stuff. And so far it rides exceptionally quiet, especially with these 22-inch wheels. Those are gigantic. I'm very impressed that it's riding as quietly as it is. The brakes feel very nice as well. Everything feels very well weighted. I haven't driven a Navigator before. I haven't driven too many giant SUVs yet. At least the truck-based American SUVs in a while. So it's pretty good that I can just get right in here and drive. The brakes are very forgiving. The gas pedal is not too sensitive, but, you know, just appropriate. I like it. Going through some bumps, it rides pretty well. They did improve the ride here with this adaptive suspension for the 2023 model year. I wish it had air ride as an option though, because the competitors have it, and this one sticker is around $98,000 right now. That's on the higher side compared to the other ones, so it is lacking a few features where it stickers higher, so that's never a great setup right there. But let's go into Excite mode, come to a stop, and we will do a 0 to 60 right here, so I will just floor it. Let's see. All right, not bad at all. Sounds great. Great sounding engine when it gets up there, but I don't know, I think that was probably closer to the 6-second range. It's nothing insane, but it's pretty decent. And that did go into 4-wheel drive there for a little bit, just because it got a tiny bit of a tire skidder in the rear. So luckily it shifted quickly into 4-wheel drive mode, and then obviously no more of that, full power output being down on the road. So yeah, it did okay. It has a ton of power, but it also has a ton of weight. So this is obviously not a light SUV. It's not trying to be, but I think it keeps up with the others. I don't think they're any faster, except maybe the Cadillac Escalade V, which is obviously not something to compare this to. But yeah, I think it's quick enough. Down low, like this, just driving normally. It does feel torquey. It doesn't actually put the speed up immediately, but you feel the torque very well from these turbos right here. So that's very good. It's not exactly a linear power thing. It doesn't hit you in the back with the turbos like some vehicles does, where later on, once the turbos kick in, you definitely feel it. You just feel like you're finally in the power band. It's nothing like that, like a big lag, but it definitely is a bit on the slower side, just to get to its best power output. But we will turn around right here. I'll show you the backup camera for a moment. So this thing is going to be, as always, near impossible to do anything close to small turning with, but has a nice 360 camera. Camera quality is okay on the reverse camera. It's nothing great, but that's nothing Lincoln specific. That's a million brands I complain about nearly every backup camera, so that is nothing to knock this car on. This steering is exceptionally nice. The steering feels so nice. It's so light and smooth. It's not too floaty though. Like if I go like this, that's an entire turn of the wheel. It still has good enough input though. It's not floaty. It doesn't make you feel like you're just off in the middle of nowhere. It does feel nice enough. And you know, you're not like highly engaged with the road either, but you're not supposed to be. This is more of a, you know, family luxury cruiser. Of course it is. So I like the weighting of the steering right here. Very nice right there. Now let me try those paddles. So 7th. All right, so it's not crazy to shift into the, you know, whatever it's called, between the 10-speed gears, but it is 10, so it's a lot to deal with. So it's doing just fine right there, in my opinion. So you can go right into 8th if you want. So it listens to you pretty well. You can give it faster inputs than it will be able to change, but at least you can prep that way, so that's nice. Yeah, I think it's okay. Lane departure alert works well. I'm purposely drifting out of my lane a little bit. Testing that, it does buzz your steering wheel a little bit. So it seems to be okay on that front. Yeah, this does not ride anything like the bad truck-based SUVs of yesterday. Like, there is one of the roughest spots I know in this town on the road, and that just handled it very, very well. And this isn't even air ride suspension. This is an adaptive dampening suspension, so it's doing pretty well. It's very easy to handle this. The hood is huge and tall, of course, but it really is pretty manageable to do, so that's good. Let me put us into excite mode for whenever we get out of here, because this is going to be a pain of a left turn to make. Yeah, for visibility, the A-pillar is definitely a bit on the thick side. It is going to be for all of them. I don't think that's anything different from the Escalade, or especially the Grand Wagoneer, which is basically just a box, you know, with cutouts. Not in a bad way, but yeah, I'll hopefully drive a Grand Wagoneer at some point, so I can compare the two more directly. But I really like the styling of this on the outside. I like this especially better than the Escalade. I think the new Escalade, they just made it too angular, too sharp, and I don't like it personally. So, yeah, I'm much more a fan of this. I like the front fascia of this. The rear fascia is, it's fine. The rear I don't really have any problem with the Escalade with on. But the Jeep Grand Wagoneer, I definitely don't like the rear. I think the Grand Wagoneer, they kind of gave up on styling in the rear. Might be a bit harsh, but that's what I think. So like the front looks okay in the Grand Wagoneer, but I think this is the best all-around looking car. I really like this. It looks a great mix of elegance and you know, swoopiness, but also still looks aggressive enough and muscular enough with a nice stance, and not looking like a Ford Expedition, because I think the Ford Expedition looks overweight and clumsy in its new styling. I really don't like its new generation of styling. So yeah, so we are in excite mode here. That's 4,000 RPM, 45. Okay, yeah, this does pull very well, this engine, of course. The two turbos, you can hear them. They spool up nicely, and that's excite mode. So it went into 4 automatic, actually, again. So it seems like maybe this, while this isn't actually, you know, trying to spin out the tires or anything like that, it seems like it does go into 4 auto a lot. So it might have a little bit too much torque for the wheels at most points in rear-wheel drive, but it effortlessly changes back into 4-wheel, so you're not going to slip or anything or peel out, because obviously that's not what most people want to do in this type of a luxury SUV. As for the second row seating, earlier I thought it was pretty good. Third row is also good. You could definitely fit people in the third row here for a moderate amount of time, even if they're adults. And something else you can do in this, same with the Escalade, I believe, is you can get the Lincoln Navigator L. So the L adds about a foot of length to this and gives you a larger third row seat and just a little bit larger proportions. So if you're ever looking for a real long travel SUV, you can do it that way. And accelerating here in normal mode. It gets out of its own way quickly. I'm at 50. I don't know the exact 0 to 60 time, but in lane keep assist is working pretty decently. You know, it vibrates your steering wheel, as you could hear there. Yeah, this thing rides really quietly. I'm taking this 55 miles an hour. There's a little bit of wind noise, of course, but really, it's quiet. With these 22s, it's impressing me on that front. There's very minimal road noise, too. They're not special tires or anything. They're 285s. They're pretty wide. They have 22-inch tires around it, but they are doing very well on the noise front. Alrighty, as for my final thoughts driving this Lincoln Navigator Reserve 2023, I really like how this drives. It drives pretty well composed. It has the power and it can put it down when you need it. Really in any mode, if you were to floor it, it gets out of its own way quickly, which is good. But it really drives pretty leisurely overall. It drives tight if you it's not too bad on body roll. It does a little bit of a snaking effect, but nothing too bad. Seems like the steering is the steering does get heavier as you get up in speed a little bit. Definitely gets a lot more direct right there, but again, it's just really pleasant to drive. This is not bothersome to drive in any way. Visibility is pretty good. Out the back, side windows are very good because it's really boxy. You get blind spot monitoring. The mirrors are pretty large. Technology in here is nice. I like the Sync 4 system. The new infotainment is large and very, very good in my opinion. And of course, really pretty good on the button use too. Although you do get some stuff in the infotainment that you have to use, I think it's a nice balance of what they chose over here. And then otherwise, yeah, it doesn't drive as big as you'd think it would be. For example, I know the Kia Telluride, that's a different class, but that thing drove tiny for the size of what it is. But this one also drives pretty small for what it is. It doesn't feel like you can't park it. Doesn't feel like it's intimidating to drive. It drives moderately small, and it drives very well. Even without air ride, I think it rides well. The only problem I do have with it is the price. I think this is expensive. Right now it stickers at $98,000, and this is not the top trim or an L. So, and there's another Navigator Reserve stickering for about $97 right nearby. So I think it's pricey. The reason I say that is because the Cadillac Escalade probably starts closer at 85, 82, somewhere in there right now. And that you can option with air ride. And also, this is not a top trim, and it's still at 98. You can go above this in two ways. First, the black label trim, as well as the L extended version. So I think this is pricey. I think this would be a more healthy vehicle right around the price point of 80, 85, something like that, maybe even closer to 75. So I do think this is a little pricey right now. I think when the market cools down a little bit, this is still a great choice, but I think right now it is a little expensive, especially compared to its peers. I know the Grand Wagoneer from Jeep does get really pricey. It can go 110 right now, I see some listed. However, I just don't know exactly how those stack up, if it has air ride, all the other options, so I'm not sure exactly. I love how this looks. I really do like how it drives. It drives pretty small. But I do think there are some better options right now throughout the class, just in their prices. And I feel like you could spec a similar Grand Wagoneer or Escalade for this $98,000 price tag. Alrighty, that'll just about wrap up this drive of a 2023 Lincoln Navigator Reserve. And there is the fogged-in lighthouse. Alrighty, as always, thank you very much to Flood Ford Lincoln in Narragansett, Rhode Island for allowing me to review and test drive this Lincoln Navigator. Make sure to go check out my full in-depth review currently out on the channel and get all the details there. As always, thank you very much for watching, drive with passion, and take care.